We are live. Hey everyone, welcome to Hack Shack Studios. RT Bear here, and this is a crazy but fun day we are having right now. We are doing a chrono blowout. We are trying to get the message out and the word out that we are hours away from the campaign ending. And the last week or so, man, you guys have rallied. This book is on fire right now. I cannot believe the success we are having within a few short, weeks, and well, really just a week actually. And we were kind of plotting along, but then last week, boom, somebody lit a fire, and it was probably you guys getting the word out there and helping out. So I always fly blind here, and I'm always a little paranoid until I see a sign of life in the chat. And I am going through OBS. So wait. Now OBS is actually, I'm getting thumbs up from Shinto Ketchup. So that just popped up. So I guess that's the sign of life. So I don't have to go to YouTube. This was not doing this yesterday, you guys. I was not able to see the chat through OBS. So this is good. I'm going to just double check on YouTube and make sure this is live, because things get weird. Technology is weird. Yes, we are live. The Blowout Preview Book Party. And I have 3 people watching right now. So if you guys are indeed 3 people, let me know. Let me see. Throw your hands in the air like you just don't care. Isn't that what the kids say? Throw your hands in the air like you just don't care. Yeah. When you do that, you know you're out of control. When your hands are up in the air, you just like, I have no control of what I'm doing right now. I am just crazy into what's happening. And you see that all the time at rock shows. But I'd like to see them on this stream right now. I'd like to see everyone out there listening to put your hands in the air like you just don't care. Maybe I'll rename this. I'll rename this stream as "Put Your Hands in the Air Like You Just Don't Care." But I'm alive here. I am alive. Oh, here we go. Teflon Ron, he's got, I don't know where you guys find those emojis, the omijis. Those are cool. So we have Liam. Liam is in the house. We have Oni64, hail brothers, hail to you, hail to all. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is a fun day. My wife and I got back an hour or so ago, had a good lunch, and we're gearing up for the big countdown. So just to back up on some old news, Pamela is, she's my wife, she's my partner in crime, she's my co-writer, she edits most of the books I work on, and she is a genius. And she is downstairs right now packing up some more black and white books. So old business is the black and white books, the whole shipment. We've had 2 different shipments. We had an early shipment that I had to pay blood money to the printer to get. And so that's the books that had been going out. So now we have the remainder. So we have all the books, the main book, and we have all the variant Greg Capullo books in the house. So we have them. She's packing them up. Some of those are signed. I think we probably got through 4 boxes or so of them being signed. And so tomorrow, Taylor Grosso is coming by, and we are going to have a signing party. So whenever Taylor's in the house, we always have a party. So we will get the remainder. I think it's 1,500 books. We will get the 1,500 signed for you guys, and we will still be sending those out. So I don't think there has been more than 2 days without books going out. So my wife, she doesn't put out like, here's 100 that she brings to the post office. She usually does like 20 or so at a time, 10 to 20. It's more manageable for her to carry and things like that. So it's just more practical. So but the cool thing is they go out on a regular basis. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of downtime, so there's always books going out. Excuse me, which I think in the long run is better, to be honest. So we have what is that, Dorby? Dorby. He's putting his hands up. That's like 2, 4, 6, 8. That's like 8 hands up. So Dorby either has 8 hands or he's hanging out with what would that be? 4 different people. 4 different people, each one with 2 hands. So that's pretty cool, man. Dorby's hands are in the air, like he just doesn't care. So what is Oni 6'4"? What is that? Is that somebody holding somebody's head? I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's kind of frightening. I don't want to ask. It looks like 2 hands holding somebody's head. I've read too many comics and done too many comics. That's like when somebody is going to read your mind. That's what that looks like. So I think that's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say I'm reading his mind, or he's reading my mind, or we're reading each other's minds. So I just wanted to kind of hang out with you guys for a little bit of time, just to let you know that the campaign is still going strong. It will end midnight tonight, and we may have a big rally tonight on EVS's stream, which would be exceptionally cool. I never ever count on anything like this, but if it does happen, I will be so grateful to that man. It's pretty amazing, the power of his crew there. His chat followers. I don't know what the hell you call these things, you guys. I'm old. He's an octopus. Okay, so Dorby's going to explain. It says it's message, so I think it's rubbing temples. Oh, like I got a headache. I have a stress headache. But it doesn't look like the same person that's rubbing their own temples. It looks like somebody else is rubbing their temples. So that's pretty cool. If you have somebody rub your temples. I wish I had somebody rub my temples. Like right now, you know. Actually, I'm feeling really good, you guys. This Chrono campaign is going like gangbusters right now. I cannot believe it. I am so taken aback by this. You guys are the best, and I guarantee you will not be sorry. This book is going to entertain your socks off. And I don't think I've ever said that before, and I've never heard that. I've never heard it will entertain your socks off. I've heard it will knock your socks off, but never entertain your socks off. So this book, Chrono Mechanics, is guaranteed to entertain your socks off. That is my pledge to you right now. If the camera was on me, I'm kind of doing that heart thing, like, you know, where you kind of pound your chest and then you aim the finger at somebody. Like, I mean this from the heart. This is from the heart. This is like from me to you. We have Wilson Ramos Jr., and I want to ask if this is the same Wilson Ramos that worked at Marvel Comics. Because if it is, I believe I know you. But I'm not sure. I think I know someone else named Wilson Ramos, but he has a junior there, so I'm not sure it's the same person. But hello, it's good to have you in the chat. We have The Pinger. That's a cool title, man. The Pinger. Will you go in demand after... Oh, it just shifted. After tonight. I've said if we can get to 25K, I probably will not. But I will evaluate that at 25K. So I think we're heading towards 23 at this point. So I don't know how to screen share. Let me do this real quick and I can answer. Oh, Wilson says yes. Oh, cool, brother. How you doing, man? Man, it's been a long time. Yes, it's the Marvel Returns. Yeah, brother, man. You're a kick-ass dude, and whenever there was a problem, you always were right there with art returns and stuff. I remember what was it? Adam Kubert and I had some kind of problem with with pages, and he wanted something. He wanted some very specific pages. And so I think we worked it out through Wilson, because he also, like, when you do art returns for like Marvel or these companies, I don't think they don't have that anymore because everybody does blue lines. But sometimes, like, people like Wilson are arbiters. They're like or arbitrators. They kind of get between the two talents and work things out. And I thought he was very diplomatic, and I believe Adam got his way. But the next issue, Wilson kicked ass, and I got all the cool pages. Ha ha! So thank you, Wilson. I think that was on Ultimate X-Men, or was it just Uncanny or X-Men? It was some, and I believe it was Adam, not Andy. I never had really any run-ins with Andy. Adam was a bit of a handful, but it was all good. It was all good. Man, I still want to click on these like I can with StreamYard, because I see some of the cool in the chat stuff, and I want to click on them. And the problem also is in YouTube and with what is it, OBS, the type is smaller, so I'm having a hard time seeing you in the chat. So I think this is Kraken, the Kraken. It's the internet. There's apps where you can get people to come over and rub all kinds of things. That sounds frightening. I don't know if I want apps to have people come over and rub stuff. Although, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, it's probably not even a 50-50. It's probably like you're either gonna get beat up or robbed or raped. I don't know. Something bad. Wait, we got Wilson here. We're having a chat with the great Wilson Ramos. I'm good, man. Freelancing, lettering, and production guy nowadays. Yeah, I think I've touched base with you since, and that's cool. That's cool, man. That's good to know. So if anybody wants lettering or production, wait a minute. What do you mean by production work? Dude, I might have work for you. There's 2 books I need to put together graphically. I need the Work in Progress CHRONO MECHANICS book that's in this campaign. I need somebody to be able to paginate and basically put the artwork together. I don't know what that's called. Just kind of put the book together and graphically. And then I have oodles of doodles and other stuff too. Volume 2 that I need to put together, a graphic book. So maybe I'll be chatting with Wilson later. That would be cool. So we got Dorby again. I've backed CHRONO MECHANICS. EBS rocks. Great that he remains generous after some ingratitude from others. Thanks for the Marvel firing tale. Shocking. Yeah. You know what? This CG group of guys are pretty amazing. I've never seen any kind of generosity like this in the 35 years that I've been working in this business. So it's a great bunch of guys, and it's a lot of fun hanging with these. You know, I just wish I was 10 to 20 years younger, because I can't keep up with these guys, man. You should see everything in the chat and all the YouTube channels and everything. I have such a hard time keeping up with everything. So I blame my age. So hey Art, hey everyone. We have Jude. You need to keep the campaign open. Don't turn down money, Jude says. Yeah, but I don't know. I'll still feel like I'm in campaign mode. And at 25K, I can... Well, you know what? I'll think about it. Kraken says stay innocent. So do I seem innocent? I've seen a lot of shit, Kraken. Maybe I'm just not jaded. Maybe I'm not so much innocent as just not. Nah, I'm pretty cynical and jaded. I don't know, man. If I come across that way, I think it's a good thing. Then I just try not to get into other people's business. One, my mom always taught me it's none of your business, so stay away. And also, the thing is, fundamentally, you can't change people's behavior. So if somebody wants to say something, do something, or believe something, this is back to the other like Comicsgate trying to there's a little bit of tension right now. I can't do anything about it, you guys. If people want to do what they're going to do, that's on them, man. I have no control what people say or do. The only thing I can do is I can control myself. So I like me. I like the way I look at life and view life. So I try not to disparage others, and I try not to talk too much crap. The only time I really will speak out is kind of when I need to defend myself, which I've done recently. Um, in a couple different ways. But other than that, man, I don't see any point in it. To be honest, good clean fun. That's what I like. Good clean fun. So Wilson says I can set up books for both print and digital if needed, like Comixology type things. It's more like art direction, like put the actual book together, like design pages, put artwork in the pages. Not just like the more technical aspects, which is, like not paginating, but putting them in a file form so the printer can read it and all that stuff. It's a little bit more like kind of come up with an art direction. And what do they call that? There's a word for it. Just kind of put the book together. The good thing about volume 2 of the art book, it's going to be based on the template that's already there. So they're going to look like companion books or companion pieces. So that one's already designed. The chrono pages are not, and that's going to be heavily themed. So we have Checkpoint. What's up? What's up, Checkpoint? How are you? Lady, either Celtic or Celtic Moon. I've heard both. Howdy, dear. Howdy. What's up? Checkpoint, the business isn't normal, apparently. Wilson says again, and I've backed Chrono Mechanics. I recall you showing me stuff in San Diego Comic Book 2002. Yeah, I mean, this is another story in the epic adventures of Team 9.2 of Sector 7. So I hope to also tell more tales of Chrono Mechanics. And based on the success of this campaign, you guys will be getting a lot more Chrono Mechanics material. I have a story you guys are gonna love, man. I have a real quick treatment that I've written out. Everybody I've told this to loves it. Pamela loves it. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to revisit these guys, as well as Volume 2 of Black and White, which I'm going to do. And, oh my gosh, I have another concept, you guys. This one you guys are going to love, man. All I can say is the tagline, or kind of the idea, will center around this tagline idea. Hell bent, heaven sent. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. And that's all I say. And there's gonna be some hot chicks in it. There's gonna be some hot chicks, because you guys have been telling me more hot chicks art. We like the way you draw hot chicks. So, yeah, you know what? The people have spoke, and I like drawing hot chicks. Checkpoint. I'll talk crap all. I talk crap all the time to make people stronger. That's one way. That's one way of doing it. You can inspire them, or you can beat them up to the point where they're going to say, "You know what? Yeah, I told you so. I'll do it. I'll do it just to spite you." Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to motivate people, and everybody's different though, because some people won't be motivated by that. Some people will be very turned off by it, but others will be. So you never can tell. One of the things about Hack Shack Studios is I've worked with a lot of young talent, and in somewhat what as like a teacher type. So people come in, sometimes they have varying degrees of talent and skill. So I come in and I teach them, and I try to bring them up to a level that we can, use them in the studio. Because sometimes people come in and they don't have a lot of skills at all. So what I've noticed over the years is some people respond to like a strong arm, you being a little bit tougher with them, and some people respond better to like, kind of the friendly nudge, where you kind of inspire them. So I try to take it case by case, people by people, because everybody's different. So what gets through to some might not get through to others. And that's the way I try to look at it. You're the hammer. What? Oh, checkpoint, you're the hammer. Putting the hammer down. Hello, Art. Is that Skits Comic? We have Kevin. Kevin, how are you, brother? Hey, hey. Hello, chat. Checkpoint. That is what the ladies say. The ladies. Oh, the hammer thing. We have Shadowhawk. Hey, Art, please have Chrono Mechanics in demand, at least for a short time. Comicsgate forever. Thick thighs save lives. Well, you know what, Kraken, then you need to talk to Battle Maiden Knucklebomb. She's got the thick thighs here. You're on the highway to hell. Yeah, that could also be a little bit of a hook there. Mighty Joe Young, add extra copies of Black and White. I am going to do a what is it, like a standardized version of Black and White. So I'm going to release Oodles of Doodles Volume 2 early next year, and Black and White, like a standard version. Not quite the bells and whistles graphic novel campaign that I had done earlier. So this will be more of kind of like a Peter Simeti, what is it, Alterna kind of format. More like a basic, newsstand comic, if I can say newsstand, whatever, like comic shop version. Kyun can draw those thighs all right. Yeah, he can. Extra copies of Black and White. Got that. All right. Well, you know what? I didn't want to stay too long. I appreciate all you guys in chat. This is very cool. But I am going to share, I think it's 20 pages. It's the first 20 pages, you guys, of Chrono Mechanics. And I'm going to share this with you. This is going to be the blowout party. So if you guys did not have a sense of what Chrono Mechanics was, after this first 20, you should. And I'm going to show you the black and white line art because I'm very, very proud of the ink work and I guess the outside of the box style that I'm working in, so you can see the line art and you can appreciate that. Narwhal's colors are amazing, but most of the time people never get to see this version. So I like to see black and white line art. It's one of my favorite things. When I go to San Diego Comic-Con, I spend hours just looking at the original artwork because I'm in awe, and it beats me down like, oh my gosh, I suck. But at the same time, it inspires me to go and try to be better, to be a better artist. Yeah, art, it's hard to convey emotion or sarcasm over the internet. People take what you're saying, depends on how they want to read it. Yeah, and that's all up to them. But I've been trying to think more of like sound bites. So when I speak and when I send emails out and things, I try to make sure that they can't use that soundbite against me. You know what I mean? Like if you just isolate something you say, because I realized in the last week or so, I have said some things that can be taken possibly out of context and used against me. So I don't like thinking this way, but you got to kind of defend yourself and make sure that you're okay. And I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that want to hurt other people. I never knew things were like this before, but yeah, it's pretty nuts. Howdy Art, we got Tank Ferret Art, Howdy Art, and friends. Yeah, we are all friends here. You want to see cross-hatching like the old masters? Yeah, I got some stuff. I got some shit here I'll show you. Okay, so let me figure out how to do this now. So I'm going to go to OBS, and I think if I hit this button right here, and then I go here, you should be seeing, there's a little bit of a delay for me, but you should be seeing the first page of Chrono Mechanics. And this is line art. So I'm going to give it a moment just to see and make sure, because I can't read the chat, but I have a little pop-up here that I can see. Yeah, so I see it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. We're good. So yeah, this is page 1. And I know you've seen this color with Narwhal's coloring on it, but you have not seen it like this. Oh, no, you guys did. I actually inked this on a live stream. But I just wanted to blow this thing up. Look at all of this. Like, there's ports, there's like little repair stations. Well, these are huge repair stations for all the time ships. So each one of those rounded like orb shapes like here with the flaps, those are chrono ships. Those are time ships. And you can see the detail in this. And I just came up with a real basic thumbnail idea and explained it to Render Contender. And so, and there was some drawings of Chrono Incorporated that I had previously done, but nothing to this extent. So he took those little pieces here and there of the interiors, and then with my little thumbnail of the bolt or screw, concept with a like a dome over it so you can see through it. He took that and ran. And then the idea is that they're in these little repair stations, and then the shaft, this little opening that's right in front of each one, they get lowered down in there, and then they come down the bolt part and where all these ports are, these little openings, and then they get fired through those ports. And so the ports are kind of like boom tubes, and they go through the boom tube into their respective timelines. So, and the idea too is that the reason each one of those things looks like they're serrated, like they're all in a spiral, is because the way I'm thinking about it is there's so many different timelines that if they kind of calibrate it and turn it, it would rotate. Like if you saw this thing moving, all those little port stations would pivot in a circle around, and each one gives you an infinite amount of combinations of timelines you can travel through. So I don't know, you guys, I really get into this stuff. So there's quite a bit of thought here, but man, you can see, and the buildings in the center, that's the Chrono Incorporated offices. So that's where all the big wigs and the paper pushers and all that are in. So the foreman works out of there and comes out to the work floor and talks to his different repair people, because there's the chrono mechanics that actually go to the repair site, but there's also people that work at Chrono to keep the ships working, to keep all the tools in working order and all that. So that's what happens here at Chrono Incorporated. And this satellite is in timeless space. So this is like uncharted territory. You would never be able to find this place, even if you had a map, because it is just in a place that it doesn't really even exist. It's out of time. So every day you go to work for Chrono Incorporated, you do not age. So if you worked a 24-hour shift, you would not age for that 24 hours. So it's timeless. Nothing really moves in this space. So it's exempt from the effects of time. And if you haven't heard, time is a big machine in this concept. So it's literally a clockwork, nuts and bolts machine that was built in the cosmos when the galaxy was originally formed. So its job is to regulate all time and timelines. And so Chrono Incorporated is a company that was created to maintain the big machine. So that's what happens here. And then they employ repair teams that go out and repair time. And that's what the chrono mechanics are. They're the repair team. So if you hear me say Team 9.2 of Sector 7, that's the repair team that we're focusing on in this story. And they are the best of the best. So then we have page 2, which I don't know. I think I might have worked on this in a live stream as well. But this is renders, breakdowns over my layouts, and this is my finishes over the breakdowns. So this is Skippy, who's an employee of Chrono Incorporated, and you've heard me talk about Eugene, the Chrono Elucidator. So there's a screen here, and so right behind the screen, oh man, I just got some crazy good news. And I'll come back to that. That'll be awesome. Okay, so where was I? Oh, so like you see the screen, and there's Eugene talking to Skippy, and Eugene is he's the computer, the giant, enormous computer that keeps all timelines, work assignments, employees, everything together. So he's just a big mainframe computer, but he actually kind of became self-aware at some point. So either Chrono, Incorporated or himself manifested a kind of, for the lack of a better term, a physical form. So he's a living, breathing hologram. So he can just be the machine that is the computer, or he can interact on the screen like he is with Skippy here. Excuse me. Or like you see in the third panel, he's coming out and he's becoming the 3D hologram, Eugene. So what's happening here is they're getting some really, really bad news. And so to deliver the bad news, Eugene feels like he has to comfort Skippy and come out and do it face to face. So that's what this idea is. It's basically setting up the situation, the problem that is coming up, that you guys will see in these 20 pages. So he's kind of trying to comfort Skippy, but not doing a very good job, as you can tell by Skippy's reaction in the last panel, which is like one of those dope moments that will then segue into this page. So this is a Chrono Mechanics art version of Geraldo Rivera. So this is because Chrono is a very, very specific style. So I had to figure out how to draw people from, like, real people in a Chrono Mechanics style. So this is Geraldo Rivera from the 70s. So we cut to the 70s. Excuse me, from Chrono Incorporated. And so this is the great Geraldo Rivera. So he's doing a man on the street, kind of man on the beat type thing, and he's doing a television special right here, and he's going to televise this live concert that Doug is going to do in the 70s. So if you don't know, a little backstory of Doug is he's the epitome of 70s rock star. So he's kind of Steven Tyler merged with Ted Nugent. So the voice of Tyler and the bombastic guitar player of Nugent. So he's kind of doing his introduction here to the TV audience. So this is a live remote. So you can see, like, everybody's like, are there chicks? Are there hot chicks? Well, this is the hot chick version in Chrono Mechanics language. So these are the hot chicks. And if you notice, there's no guys in the crowd because Doug is loved by the ladies, as he calls them. So these are the Chrono Mechanics version of the ladies. So I dig all these. Like, every one of these faces is uniquely different, except for these two over here, right above the microphone. They're twins. So he's gonna get some twin action if he plays his cards right. So yeah, all these ladies love the D. So look at that detail in the mustache and the eyebrows. That's all brush, baby. That's all brush. But I just look at the ink style. I love it. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm falling in love with my own work, but all this bloopy kind of Mobius style stuff. I had a lot of fun doing it. So this is page 3, you guys. So I'm giving you a blow by blow. This is pretty rare for anybody to go into this much detail on a campaign. But I also want to show you how much of the work is done as well. So this is the backstory on the D. So this is narrated by Geraldo Rivera. So he's talking about all these different magazine covers that Doug has graced over, the year or so. So these are all magazines of the 70s that were kind of popular. So 17, which is a little girl magazine, I think, I don't know, hairstyles. So he kind of pioneered the mullet. At least that's what we're saying in the story. TV Guide used to be a big thing. Rolling Stone, sort of still. I think Guitar World magazine is still being published. And then, of course, like Teen Beat, Mullet Love down here. And there's going to be more captions than this on these covers, you guys. This is just part of the typeset that I could put in. So Rags to Riches, TV Guide story. Movie of the week, Doug's story. And I like that there's all these money bags behind him, and then his tie has a dollar sign on it. So then Guitar Magazine, obviously he's a guitar god, so Guitar Magazine's going to do a feature on him. So Doug Rocks the World, Keytar's the Future. So I'm actually kind of projecting what the 80s ended up becoming. And so then plus Doug Talks Music, Mischief, and Mullets. So yeah, then there's the Mullet Mania inside Doug. Inside Doug Rates Your Hairstyle. And then, of course, Teen Magazine, Mullet Love, It's Driving Me Mad. It's Making Me Crazy. So then we go into some little vignettes, different moments of like highlights or high points of Doug's life so far. And so this is Doug being interviewed by Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show, which was big in the 70s. So that's the CHRONO MECHANICS style version of Johnny Carson. I thought it came out pretty cool. I'm sorry, you guys. I kind of chuckle at my own work. I'm entertained by my own myself. Well, you know what? If you can't entertain yourself, then who can you? Yeah. So that's the Johnny Carson version. So then I'm not going to spoil this moment here, but Doug's getting hit in the head with blue beer. So that's kind of a made-up brand that just exists in CHRONO MECHANICS, obviously. And so this is kind of a parody of Michael Jackson getting his hair caught on fire for the Pepsi commercial. So in this world, we call it Depsy. So Doug's head's on fire in this panel. And so then this was Doug fell out of a balcony after a tryst with some ladies. And so he signed up some autographs before he passed out. So I'm not going to say what the meaning behind some of these things are because it will spoil stuff. But here's Doug, and those are all, like, they're laying down there. Those are all his band members from the past. So this was a mishap on stage, and those guys didn't make it. They did not make it, meaning they are dead. So, and there's a lot of pretty edgy stuff in the dialogue here. This is when I say raunchy, this is where the more adult raunch comes in. So this is Doug live on stage. I believe this page just went up for sale on the Indiegogo site. So both of these, the one you just saw and this one, are double page spreads. So I thought it would be fun to show Doug's backstory with a certain style, so it stands out from the rest of the book, because there's no other double page spreads in the book. So this is a montage of the live show that Geraldo has set up. in the one page. So this is Doug jamming, doing his set. So it's basically like little vignettes of the whole evening. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is that panel 5 where he's leaping out of the panel. That's the end of the show. And so then these last 3 panels are the backstage stuff. So this is going to be the big interview with Geraldo Rivera. So you can see he's a bit of a womanizer. He's got a cigarette. So this is not PC. You know, Doug does drugs and drinks alcohol and probably smokes a doobie or two. And he definitely smokes cigarettes because everybody in the 70s smoked cigarettes, especially if you're a rock guy. So then this is going to be the big interview. You can see the ladies are all crazy about Doug. And so then something happens to interrupt the interview. So Doug is kind of being zapped. He's kind of dissipating. He's kind of being beamed up like Star Trek. And so then what happens is there's a lighting rig that would have fell onto Doug, but it falls onto Geraldo Rivera's head instead. So then we cut to the next page, which I think you guys will be very familiar with, but not with the inks. So this is page 8. So this is Doug actually being teleported into the Chrono Mechanics world. So this is him coming onto a crash site where the time ship has just crashed, and he's meeting Caravaggio for the first time. And you guys have heard me explain the idea behind this. But this is basically Doug being introduced into a bigger world, a different world of chrono mechanics and time repairing. So you can see that there's a dead mechanic in the background. That's Miguel. And so the reason Doug is being recruited is to take Miguel's place, because Miguel did not make the crash, sadly. Sweet, sweet Miguel, as Caravaggio calls him. Yeah, so look at all... This is mostly brushwork, you guys. And I don't really rule anything out, so all the curves and all the straight lines are pretty much hand-drawn. I don't use templates. The style is such that to get this charm, it's all hand-done. So there's no circle templates or any kind of French curves or anything. It's all brush and freehand. So there's page 8. Page 9 you guys have seen as well. So this is Doug trying to get away from Caravaggio. He hits a big stump of a man. And then it is revealed that this dude is Oot. And so Oot doesn't like getting rammed into, so he's gonna pummel Doug in the most intimate way he can, as a caveman. So we have that. God, I'm sorry, you guys. Look at Oot here. I can't do this on the site, but I can blow this stuff up so you guys can get a pretty good idea of the brushwork and the style. So there's flies around Oot because he stinks. He stinks like poo. So the flies hang out with him like he is a piece of poo. So he is not pleasant to be around. He's stinky. He is stinky. Okay, so then we have, I'm going to have to get rid of some of these tabs, I think, because there's so many of them and I can't see the end. Okay, so then this is page 10. So you've seen this one as well as part of the campaign. So we enter Zin saving Doug's life from Oot. And Zin is the child deity. He's kind of a spiritual guy. And he doesn't want to see anything bad happen to the new recruit, which is Doug. So he's also a child. So he's this young squid, and he's kind of like Tigger, where he's the only one. So he's of a race that no one really knows the origin of. I guess Yoda's the same way. So he's one of a kind. And so his mantra is the me, myself, and I, which is kind of a self help mantra. And he focuses it through the Trinity gem, which is that little pyramid shape that's over his head here. So we got a pretty good balance of different characters and personalities. So it's a pretty volatile type of group. So there's a lot of tension and there's a lot of stuff we can play off of because they don't all see eye to eye. There's a lot of differences between these guys. And so the idea being is if they kind of just hung out, they would probably destroy each other. But since they have a job to do and they have the greater good, they all get along to do their job. Otherwise, they would probably be fighting all the time. So here's a close-up of Oot, Zin, and Caravaggio. Caravaggio's lower because he's short. The only reason Zin's up because he can float. And so all these little star things, these are what illustrates when Zin is using his powers. So the feet, you can see Doug's feet on the top. So this is kind of a pan shot, like if you imagine the camera panning across. And each one of them's telling his backstory to Doug. And so then this is them Zin lowering Doug down and telling Doug that, he needs to shape up. He needs to become a chrono mechanic, and they have a job to do. And so Doug doesn't like, manual labor. And so he thinks that work is a 4-letter word and says, no way, dude. No way. I'm not going to be part of your little motley crew here. I want to get back to my own timeline and the ladies. So then this is them kind of giving Doug the backstory on how they got here and what happened and why they need him. So Zin at first starts telling the story, and then Oot doesn't like the way he's telling the story. So then he throws Zin out of the way. There's a lot of Three Stooges kind of slapstick stuff here because I love the Stooges. So he flings Zin out of the way. And like I said, most likely these guys wouldn't be friendly unless they had a job to do. So then Oot starts telling the story. And Oot's the pilot of the ship, so he takes great pride in piloting the ship. So he's talking about piloting the ship. I shouldn't give too much away. So you see Sweet Sweet Miguel here with the guitar, and he's entertaining them as they're commuting through the time stream. And Narwhal did a great job of coloring up the time stream. It looks really, really good. And we spent a lot of time on this page. So then this is basically them commuting into work. So you can see they have their beverages that they stop to get, Oot's reading a book upside down, and Miguel is entertaining them on the commute to the work site. So then out of nowhere, these quickie time guys come out, and they're racing them to the work site. So they feel if they can get to the work site first, they can claim it as theirs, and they can do the job. So they're basically kind of, how people can bid, they can bid on jobs and you can be outbidded for work. That's kind of what this is. These guys are trying to get to the work site first. And so they cheat and they ram the ship. They ram the chrono ship. And then they knock it out of their time stream. So then Zin starts telling the story here and says that we were knocked into a chronomite turf area. So the chronomites are kind of like gremlins, and so they eat tech. They, like the gremlins of like the myth, like the Twilight Zone with what is his name? William Shatner, something on the wing. Yeah, that's kind of what inspired this. So these things will eat anything that comes into their turf. And so what they do is they end up attacking the ship. And they basically paralyze it. They hurt it to the point where it's immobile. So then Caravaggio goes into where it was damaged, and these guys are kind of super heroic when they're in chrono form. So they're kind of like superheroes. So he puts the two cables together and reactivates the power. So they get enough power to get out of the problem, but not enough to successfully get to the work site and land in any kind of satisfactory way. So that's what Caravaggio is explaining there. And then the panels here, they start blaming each other for why it crashed and why Miguel is not alive. So these guys are trying to come to terms with a fallen compatriot. So there's emotion here. There's a lot of deep stuff going on here. So, just like guys do, they get angry and they point fingers and stuff like that. I guess humans do that as well. But they're trying to come to terms with a fallen team member. So even though they are kind of at odds at times, they always loved Miguel. Like all of them love Miguel. And so now Miguel's gone, and now they have a new recruit who's a slacker. So you can see where the tension in this story is going. So then here's our Three Stooges aspects. So they don't like what each other's saying. So then they go at each other physically. And so this is kind of a battle between Oot and Caravaggio. And so Oot slams the ground in Hulk fashion and sends Caravaggio flying because Oot didn't like the idea that his feather kind of snapped him in the butt in the first panel. So then you see his hat fly off. So Caravaggio's a bit of a dandy, so he prides himself on being stylish. So then you find out that Zin is the one that levitated the hat. And he sends it over to Oot. And so this is a prehistoric background you see here. And so then you see like these cars, these 50s vehicles kind of fading into the landscape. Which I think came out pretty darn cool, man. Like, let me show you one of the cars. Like, I think they actually look like, for ink, it's hard to do this stuff, but they actually look like they're materializing. So they're semi-transparent. I thought they came out really cool. And so then we have, I gotta close the tab here. We have the follow-up. So Oot eats the hat. He eats the hat. And even though Caravaggio is a little guy, he's a scrapper, so then he just runs over and headbutts him right in the sternum, right in the solar plexus. And so then Zin is kind of egging him on. So the idea here is they're so into what's going on with each other and trying to get over the pain of losing a member through this kind of misguided fight. They can't see what's happening. And what's happening is these cars and now a building is phasing in to this timeline. And you can obviously tell that these vehicles and this building do not belong in a prehistoric landscape. So then as the fight continues, you see everything materialize. So now they're a little bit harder edge, and you can see that they're definitely, like 50s vehicles, and that this looks like some kind of eatery, maybe like a cafe. So then Doug says, hey guys, and they're like, what? Because they didn't see what was going on, only Doug did. And so right in mid-fight, they see, that Doug is being very, very, he's yelling at them, hey guys, getting their attention. And so this is one of those more adult things where Caravaggio is on the ground here, and he's forced to look up Oot's loincloth. So he's seeing Oot in full glory. So that's some of the more adult and fun. You guys can see this is just fun. This is just fun stuff. So we now see that it's 50s Eat at Joe's Cafe drive-in. So Doug is like, hey guys, can you front me some cash so I can get a cheeseburger? I'm starving. And so then this is when the three of them realize, oh crap, we've been very petty and stupid. And we need to get to the work site, because the longer the machine goes unmaintained or fixed, the more timelines can merge, meaning they overlap. So some timelines disappear, some merge, some reappear. So this is just the tip of the iceberg of what's going to happen. So right now we have 50s merging with, a prehistoric landscape. So Doug's quite the ladies' man, so he doesn't really care what's going on. He just likes the ladies and wants to eat. So he's flirting with the lady and she's flirting with him. So then the other three know what's happening and don't care anymore about Doug. They just have to get to the work site because they know that they're in dire straits. So we're almost done here. So these guys decide that they need to power up, and they're going to see if Doug will power up too and go into chrono mechanics form. So we get to see kind of the Shazam aspects of all four of them transforming into chrono mechanics. So we get to see this big special effect, and then we realize, guess what? Doug did not transform. So maybe he's not worthy of being a chrono mechanic. Maybe he is a slacker. Maybe this was an accident. So these guys now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they can't waste any more time with this guy. So then this is kind of more explanation of that realization. Like, dude, you're on your own. We can't really help you. What this means, all this time merging and stuff like that, means that we're doomed. If we don't fix this machine, all life will just cease to exist. Because if the timelines keep merging, they'll merge to the point of just nothing existing. And so there is one failsafe for Chrono Inc. It's called the Go Primal Protocol, meaning it's a reset button or a reboot button like you would a computer. So before all the timelines and all hope is lost, if they can hit the reboot button in time, then all time will reset. But it doesn't reset in the way that you would think. It resets back to the primordial ooze, which means we have to evolve all over again. So it's a reset button, but it goes back to the beginning of time here on this planet. And on all the other planets too. But we only get to see the effects here. So you can see how like epic the storyline can be. This is crazy stuff, man. This is cosmic stuff. So it's like the mundane meets the super fantastic, I love this concept. So they're talking to Doug and basically telling him that he's on his own. He's going to have to take it up with Chrono Incorporated because they can't help him. So Doug's in a strange landscape and he's wondering what the hell is he going to do. I love the composition of this panel. I think this came out so cool. I love the scale of it, and I thought the perspective all worked out pretty well. Yeah, so that's that idea there. And so two more pages. So then what happens here is we realize that there's a problem. There's a big new problem. So there's all kinds of different anomalies that can happen. So this is a new anomaly. And so I'm not going to explain this one. Some of this is going to have to be a mystery. Because this epic adventure has just started. And so then you've seen this page. So that page goes right into this page. And so I love the way this page colored up. Yeah, Narwhal did a great job on this page. So then this basically last panel is them leaving Doug behind. So that is that. And now I have to figure out how to go back. So am I back? Am I back for the attack? I don't know where I'm at. So I should be. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to go here. So this is where I need to be. Okay. Yeah, this OBS is still throwing me for a loop, guys. So I apologize. So I don't think I'm screen sharing. I shouldn't do that though, because I don't know how this works. I was going to check my emails to see if things went up. But I'm going to go back in the chat a little bit and see what you're saying, catch up, and then I am going to show you the campaign and give a once over, and then bid you adieu. Adieu. Okay, so yes, tease us. Yes. Tank Ferret, howdy art. Hey, I think we went over that. The way I am multitasking. Show art the art. Show art. Okay, I will. I like that, and I did. How long till the campaign ends? We will cover that once I go to the page because it's hours now. I think it ends at midnight tonight. So Wilson says, fantastic, Kraken, amazing detail. Thank you, man. This is so much fun. I love working in this style, and you will not see this style anywhere. It only exists in this book. Oh, like a Rubik's Cube. Checkpoint says. Kevin says, put a blueprint of the space station in the sketchbook. Yeah, I think I wrote that down. You asked for that earlier, so I think I can oblige. The one thing, I wasn't sure if I was going to do color work for the sketchbook. So a blueprint, you know what I could do? I could put the blueprint of Chrono Ink on the back cover. Because the cover is going to be color, and the front cover is going to have the blueprint that you've already seen. So then the back cover could have the blueprint. I'm going to write this down because I didn't write back cover. So let me write this down, Kevin. That could be pretty cool. So work in progress, sketchbook, Chrono Ink. Space station in blueprint form. You got it, brother. That's actually a cool back cover too. And then I can do it in color and still do the black and white interior. The thing is though, I do have some painted Chrono Incorporated pieces, like full on like watercolor paintings that I might want to put in the book as well. So maybe I can do that as a centerfold. Because sometimes those black and white sketchbooks have a color centerfold in them. So maybe I could do it that way. But I wasn't really planning on the sketchbook to be color. So maybe I could do the blueprint as the back cover. The back outside cover. That, pat myself on the back, is a good idea. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Hello, everyone. We have Nighthawk Warrior. I love it, Checkpoint says. As long as he doesn't get hit with blue balls. You know what? You can never tell. You can never tell with these guys. That time Michael Jackson set on fire. Yeah. That was pretty crazy. They never, ever showed a close-up, though. I know there's a camera angle of that, of a close-up of that. Yeah, they only showed it from that pulled back version. So you could really only see smoke. But man, I think that guy got hurt pretty bad. I felt so bad for that guy. Stupid thing to point out, but I like the Van Halen style and metal grills on the Marshalls there. Yeah, I'm a big Van Halen guy. So I did kind of a tribute to Eddie's what do they call it, Frankenstrat. So he's got all the like electrician's tape over the guitar. Doug does in that panel. Yeah, it was fun doing all those Marshall stacks too. And then he's got kind of the Kiss logo in the back. It says Doug. So that's my little homage to Kiss. And if you notice, there's like women's panties on stage, and there's room keys. There's some room keys up on the stage. There's a lot of detail there, you guys. So that's what I meant, where it's kind of PG-13, where there's stuff there that might fly over kids' heads, but adults will get. So it's not like really, really like R-rated or gratuitous, but there is some raunchy stuff from time to time. Perth Comics says Gonzo is also unique. Gonzo? The Great Gonzo? The Muppet? Mighty Joe Young, if it's the 70s, shouldn't he have He has bell bottoms, dude! What are you talking about? On stage, he had these big old bell bottoms. Yeah, but in his normal state, he does kind of have more, I guess what do they call them now? Like a lot of the emo guys or kids wear them. But in the time, like the Beatles had, I think they called them pipe or stovepipe legs, where the leg, it was form fitting all the way to the ankle. So he kind of has basic Levi's type of thing with a cuff on the end. Doug does, but in some of those live things, he's definitely got bell bottoms. There really is nothing else like this. This book looks great. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate it. Wilson says, looks great. Can't wait to see it all. Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't mind sharing that with you guys because that is just the tip of the iceberg of the craziness that goes on in this book. That's just the setup. That's not even the real meat of the story. Oh, Adam. Hey, Adam Post. He's got is it the College of the Undead? He's got a cool Indiegogo up right now. I think it's in demand. So, Adam, if I said that wrong, please correct me in the chat. And I know he's got some other books that he's got going as well. And he has turned into a great friend and a great ally. I just met him in the last couple weeks, and we connect. It's weird, like in life, that you go through and you can go years without really feeling camaraderie. And then all of a sudden, there's just a ton of it. And so Adam is one of the good guys, definitely. And he has a YouTube channel as well, so you guys should check that out. Go by and sub. Adam says, guys, be sure to like and share the stream. Yes, please. Thank you, Adam. He has always got my back. Always got my back. So Kevin, doesn't have to be color, just an explanation of the parts of the ship. Oh, you guys remember? I don't know how old Kevin is, but when you were a kid and you see the schematics of like the Bat Cave, oh shit, man. That was the best as a kid, man. That was the best. Yeah, I could do that. Adam says it's College of the Dead, not the Undead. So it's College of the Dead. I apologize. And it's in demand right now. And it looks really cool. There's a cover. I'm blanking on the artist, but this could be the cover. Like if this was a movie, this would be a movie poster. It's a black and white version of a bunch of college kids graduating. So they're in their caps and gown, and oh my gosh, it's such an iconic visual. Like based on that alone, Adam could probably get a movie deal because that would sell. If that was in the lobby of your favorite, movie theater, that thing would sell. It's a great looking book. That piece alone is worth picking up the book for. James Hayes, we have James Hayes in the house. So, hope you are doing well and life's being awesome. Yes, today is an awesome day, and I will probably crash most of the day tomorrow. And early next week, I get to go Christmas shopping for my wife and family and friends. So I am so looking forward to that. I know it's going to be a crazy time. There's going to be a zillion people, but I don't care, man. It's just going to be fun to get out there and to shop for my friends and family. So FluxCore, Chrono Mechanics, they do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. Thank you, because I do not know how to share anything on this. Wait a minute. Maybe I do. Hold on. Let's see. Will this work? I'm learning this as we go. Let me see. Yes. Oh yeah, it worked. Okay, so there's the Chrono link right there, and it's also in the description. Along with I have an original artwork site, and I sell prints there too, my art prints. So you could click on that and go see if there's something you'd like to pick up. I would appreciate that. At least connect on it after the campaign. Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely going to follow this up. I am going to do a live show, live stream, and let you guys know how much I appreciate it. And one of the things too, like the reason I like the stretch goals is that's my way of thanking you guys for supporting the book the way you have. So I should try to wrap this up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Like I said, I think I'm going, Ethan may be doing something. So I should try to wrap this up and give myself some time to eat and spend time with my family before I go on. Because it could get epic. Get Ethan Cecil or anyone's show. Man, come on. Yeah, Victor, I think there's an invitation to go on Ethan's tonight. So I'm not sure what that's going to entail, but it could be fun. So I think I am going to hit screen share again. So I hit this, I go here, and then I go here. So hopefully you guys are seeing the Chrono website. So this is the CHRONO MECHANICS Indiegogo website. And before we started streaming, we were at 22,459. So we are closing in on 23K. And I've said before, if we can get to 25K, I will be so grateful. And at that point, we can pay everybody. I won't have to pay people out of my pocket. And my family and I can probably sustain for a month until we, like through January, until we can get the next campaign up in February. So that's kind of the idea there. 9 hours left. We have 313 backers. So I'm going to hit refresh here and see where we're at. Okay. Ooh, holy crap. That's 23,472. So wow, that's almost $1,000. That's almost $1,000 that we just did while I was live here. So thank you guys so very much. I appreciate all the support. We have 8 hours left. So thank you guys. This is amazing to be able to draw for you guys, to write for you guys, to create for you guys, and to put these books together. I'm so grateful that you're supporting this project the way you have. This last week has been absolutely overwhelming, you guys. Overwhelming. I don't know where this came from, but this came out of nowhere, man. So thank you very much. Hey, Pamela.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something to the people?
Hey.
I just updated. Look at where we're at.
Oh my goodness.
I know, man. That's crazy.
You have people that love you, Art. I mean, it's amazing. I'm touched here.
Well, we have the best. I mean, they love you too. Like, what was it? You even got mentioned, I think, in the Bleeding Cool article. Like that slanderous piece of whatever. Nah, I'm over exaggerating, but I think you got brought up, or in Ethan's chat too, because they were talking about like
what,
how
I called you a puppy dog.
No, it's how you defended me when I was telling the story about being fired, and was that the puppy dog thing? Yeah. Well, you have to say more than just the puppy dog. That I was devastated and destroyed, and that's why I had the puppy dog looking face.
Yes, that was one of the most horrible days. When you walked in, I still, when I try not to think about that, and trust me guys, I do pray for Dave Bogart and all those guys. I really do. Because you got to let it go.
You pray for them in what way?
that they are blessed, and I only pray good things. But that someone could go out of their way to try to destroy the career and the life of a human being, I just don't get it. And especially because you hadn't done anything.
Right.
It was friends going out to eat. oh my goodness, that's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's pretty much commonplace in the industry. That's not even outside of the norm. It might be in other arenas, but it definitely wasn't here. So if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, I did a show, a live stream a few days ago, and I talked about being let go of by Marvel. And when we say devastation and stuff, there are people that use hyperbole a lot, and they over exaggerate. He did destroy my life for that time being. Like I'm not, forever destroyed. But that moment in time, I was wrecked. I mean, that guy knocked.
Yes, you were. You were. It broke my heart to see you like that.
I've been let go of, in jobs before,
Well,
but
yeah.
I was never told I would never work there again. That's the part that really hit home. Like I was like, really? I'll never work at Marvel again.
Especially, but with the time and effort you put into your work for them, and not just them. You do for DC. You do it for everyone. There were nights that you didn't come home. You would sleep at the studio. And then to be hurt in such a manner and have things said that weren't true, it does hurt. And
Yeah, and then you realize that there's levels of where your eyes get opened up to the way the world is or the way the world can be, and levels of people and what they're capable of doing, and it was just one of those eye-opening experiences that somebody could be that vindictive and to be that absolute. Because that wasn't just a simple slap on the wrist. That was like complete devastation, what David Bogart did. And then you find out who your friends are and who are not. And I found out that I had no friends. There was no Joe Quesada. There was no CB. There was no David Finch. There was no Mark Bagley. There was no Ralph Macchio that stood up for me. It was like, well, later. That's just one more person. We used and abused and then moved on. So anyway, if you guys...
It's done. It's over. And this was the first time you actually felt in almost, 20 years, where you felt in a safe enough position to actually tell the story. It's something that you have held close to the vest for this long. And I do think it's great that you did get it out. You got it out. Now, truthfully, I think it's like you can't heal sometimes until you actually let it out.
Yeah, and people even behind the scenes, and actually Rob Liefeld wrote a really nice post on Facebook and said, when I told him that story when we were working together on Hawkman, he said his future negotiations and stuff with Marvel, he always thought about that story and potentially what they can do. And then there's the legendary story about, what Marvel did to Jack Kirby. So, yeah, it's always an eye-opening experience. But, it led me to Chrono Mechanics, and this is the book that came out of all that nonsense. So this was the first IP and the first, thing I did after Marvel. So I didn't go back to comics for about 2 years. So this is the first comic book I did after Marvel. So thank you guys for letting me tell my story. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for backing this book. I really, really do appreciate it. So do you have a parting shot?
No, just goodbye, everyone. Thanks for letting me walk in, and now I'm going to scuttle back out.
You're going to scuttlebutt?
I'm going to scuttle. I'm a good scuttler.
All right.
Is that a word?
You can scuttle. Yes. All right. I got to figure out how to get back to where I was. I think I should have done it this way instead. That's not it. This is it. Yeah, I got to click the right. So I got a little error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So I hope this is still working for you guys. I got a little notice from YouTube. So Flux Core says, Chrono Mechanics, they do more before the dawn of time. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the shout out. I really appreciate it. So, oh, we have Death Metal Hero in the chat. Thanks, man. Pam is absolutely right. Christina Lynn, God makes everything work out of good, even if things look terrible. It takes a while. I know that for a fact. Well, I love the saying where what is it, when a door closes, God opens a window or whatever. I like that because it's just like there's always the good and bad, and sometimes they happen simultaneously, and so you have to always remember that things don't always go your way and things aren't always good. But if you wait long enough and you keep faith, that eventually that window will get opened. And two, you have to be in a place that you can accept that window, and go through it. Because some people are so bitter by that point, they don't even understand that there's a helping hand there. They don't see it. And that's sad as well. So, but wait, did I read what Death Metal Hero, or did I just welcome him to the chat? I didn't read your chat here. Death Metal Hero says, still ready breaks my heart to hear how poorly you were treated. As a fan, you want to believe that the companies you support are good, and it's hard to hear that they are shady. Yes. Wilson, had to walk away for a bit. Had a great time here. When you are free, contact me on Facebook. We can catch up and talk about any production work you need. Yeah. And if I don't get a hold of you, brother, please, because this next week is going to be. This whole week has been crazy, but next week's going to be crazy too. So if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion, please. Make the move. I will not hold it against you. You will not be bugging me. So, what is showing up now? That's weird. I shouldn't be sharing anymore with you. Okay. So that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.